everybody, I'm back. And in the effort of trying to make worthwhile content and also utilize what little time I have before going back to sleep in the back of this vehicle, today we're going to be reviewing the brand new 2023 Nissan Versa. Now I know what you're thinking. This luxurious interior space does not look like a Nissan Versa. I'll explain. I don't have the connections, money, time, or I guess wherewithal to actively seek out a dealer or manufacturer, somebody that will allow me to honestly review their product, mostly because most people probably don't want me to honestly review their product. So, what I'm going to do is use other influencers or people who are reviewing the car to review their review or react to their reaction of the vehicle, if you will. So that's what I'm going to be doing today with Forest Auto Reviews, my direct rival and nemesis. Um, Forest Auto Reviews is already released in a video about the 2023 Nissan Versa, and we're going to go ahead and react to his video. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I live in my car, that I have all of the free time in the world, when in reality, all I have is this window of opportunity between my first job and my second job. But if more of you subscribe, like, and follow, then I might actually one day be able to be inside or around a vehicle that I'm actually reviewing. Let's see how that goes. Anyways, let's jump right in.
What is up, guys? Right behind me is the cheapest new car you can get in America. The Mitsubishi Mirage raised its prices to $16,000. This is $15,800, which makes this the new cheapest car in America.
So, the Mitsubishi Mirage is not only the cheapest car in America, but it's also like the elusive, like, I don't know like how to explain it, but it's like a fairy. It's something that even if you wanted to purchase that vehicle, it's probably not one that's super readily available. And with the track record of the production quality of that car, most Mitsubishi dealerships have been converted to like used car most Mitsubishi dealerships have been converted to like used car inventory primarily. And not a lot of people know that, because a lot of people know Mitsubishi from the Evo, the Lancer, just little things like that. Or maybe you've seen like a soccer mom from your local group around with Outlander Sport for some weird reason, paying $45,000 for the same vehicle they could just get from like Honda, just get a CRV or a Pilot, or not a Pilot, sorry, a Passport. Same amount of money, way better vehicle, way better build quality. We're not here to talk about those cars. Let's get back to this one. Versus 15,800. Now, this vehicle that I'm currently in is a TSX Wagon 2012. This vehicle cost around the same price when I bought it. When I bought it in 2021, about the same price, about 14 to 15,000. So you're just under a $300 car note, and that's at me at 1.99%. Sorry, 250 car note at 1.99%. Today with inflation, you're going to be getting from 5 to 6%. So with this $15,000 car, not spec'd at the base price, because the one he's reviewing is an SR, which is a $20,000 vehicle. The one that he's reviewing is even if you get the base model vehicle, you're going to be at a $400 to $500 car note, because you're going to be paying $20,000, $21,000 after interest and after tax, title, license. At the end of your loan, you're paying what you would have paid for a Honda Civic Si from the jump, because rates are just not great right now. So, anyways, plus whoever's editing this, Sam, if you're editing this, tighten all of what I said down, just the key points, because we're barely into the video and I haven't even pressed play. We're only 10 seconds in. Trim it down to this, is that it may be the cheapest car in America, but it doesn't mean it's the best buy in America. Now, we're going to go through the other features, see if it's
Fully loaded, it's 19 grand, which means it's still $4,000 cheaper than a base Civic. In the front, you get a brand new grille. You have a new Nissan look.
I know it's a brand new grille on a brand new car, but the Nissan logo is still the same. All they did was like invert the black or gray of the border, and then they gave you these white little smileys on the top and bottom that Brie Larson endorsed, I guess. I don't know, in those commercials. What I'm more interested in is his Apple Watch Ultra that he's been able to get himself through all the reviews that he's been doing. Let's review that. Like, the fact it's like, hey, dude, like, you just do TikToks and you have a $700 to $800 Apple Watch, and you're reviewing the cheapest car in America, it sounds like you can get something a little different than the cheapest Versa SR in America. Like, grill looks like garbage though. And I hate when companies do this. I hate when they produce a half airflow grill and then the other half shares the same design. So if it's like lines across, it shares the same design for lines across, but then it's sheltered right underneath, which I know the bash bar or styrofoam bars underneath, but it's just a poor design excuse. It's like, do something with that design. Don't just mimic the grill design top to bottom, but then you're not fully able to, and it makes it look cheap because you have to do that runner across the front for where either the fender attaches or the bumper attaches, or because it's just that oblique that is in the front, so you just block it out. And just putting black on something doesn't really make it better.
Logo, your SR badge in red, full LED lights, and these wheels don't look half bad.
Those wheels look like garbage, first of all. What do you mean these wheels don't look half bad? It's fine that they're black, but it doesn't. What do you mean they don't look half bad? They look like trash. Like, these are. I wouldn't. I'd rather have stock Kia wheels. Like, I mean, I don't expect to have good wheels from Nissan, but the least they could do is give me a better 5-spoked wheel. Make it simple, Nissan. 5-spoke wheels, just a simple 5-spoke design. Look at Tesla, the Model 3. If you take off those hubcaps and they just have like those multi-spoke design wheels, those aren't fancy. Those don't cost a lot to manufacture. And it's the same thing as this, an aluminum alloy wheel. Make an aluminum alloy wheel. You can make it gunmetal. You don't even have to make it black. People will appreciate it if you just do it unpainted. You could do a polished look. You could do this aluminum polished look like you have on this. What's the big deal? You're spending more money. Whatever engineer made this weird asymmetrical snowflake design.
And you get a lot of trunk space. Inside, you get these cloth.
I don't know how tall Forest Auto Reviews is, so don't know if that's a lot of trunk space. Maybe if I got in it, because I'm about 6 feet, so I don't know if that would. That's the hang up with some of these things. That's going to be with some of these cars that other people review that I'm not able to be in, is like comfortability, space. Like, my wife says I sit in the back seat of this car, and this is a long car, and my seat is all the way back just for my legs to fit. So if anyone should be testing legroom, it's me and Shaq. Us two should be testing legroom. Us only. Everybody else, it's not a good metric to run by.
Seats that are actually heated. You have a touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, plus a Wi-Fi hotspot. I have a wireless charging pad right down there, and you see that little button? That's my sport mode.
I feel like Nissan's kind of always done that with the sport mode. I feel like sport mode's always kind of been on the little prindle right there. But and of course they never look good. I feel like they could have really made this stand out a little bit more if there was just like a almost a flush to gear changer. Like, it was just, like, instead of the knob, like the big softball knobs like we're used to, instead it was just maybe like a shorter stick. Maybe reach wise that's not viable. I'm not sure. Again, not sitting in the car. That's a pretty good feature, honestly. The heated seats, pretty good feature to have in the Versa, to have some heated seats in a top trim vehicle. I mean, especially if you're looking for a cheaper car in a colder climate, that's pretty good. I've not known Nissans to have like their interior electrical components to go down super quickly. Like, if they have heated or cooled seats, if they have like like a better radio or better stereo, Apple Play, Android Auto. I'm not familiar with that shutting out on Nissans in particular. Like, the software itself does, but noticing right here, I'm doing like a freeze frame of right here where you can see Forrest sitting in the. Is his name Forrest? I don't even know if his name is Forrest. Forrest Auto Reviews? It's like Rady's Rides. I don't know if the dude's name is Rady. I don't know. My name's not Mookie. But this is a common complaint that I have, because it's on this vehicle too. You can probably see it in the video. Is the cream or tan headliner? Why does every single vehicle have to come with a cream or tan headliner? Like, you could see here that there's like stains and stuff like that from having my feet pressed against the top here when you're getting broken like a stallion. And it's just I don't know. Like, it feels like a for sure flaw that is overlooked by every single engineer and designer. It's like, yeah, you know what we're gonna do? Instead of giving you quality for a cheaper price, or like this one for when this was new, a more expensive price, because it's an Acura, so it's probably at a premium compared to the equivalent Honda Accord or Honda Civic. It's like, why then not at a premium, or even just like for the value of the customer, are we not giving you black headliners? Because everything else in the car is black. Like, just similar to this is almost exactly the same as that Nissan Versa. Imagine it's a Nissan Versa. That it's black here, and then it's tan here, or cream here, or whatever it's called, or gray. And why is that necessary? It's like, oh, well, for diversity of color. What color? It's not a diversity of color, it's just gray. It's just worse black. Like, just make it black. If it's going to be black, 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 make it black. Like the same thing in this Versa. It has like a red stitch trim across the seats, but all on the top of the roof. Like, why? I don't want that. Nobody wants that. Like, the amount of configurations of vehicles that I've wanted, or that I'm just like, oh, that'd be a good purchase, and that have completely shut me out, even though the vehicle was like a good purchase, a good ride. It drove great. It looked great. The specs were immaculate. The build quality was incredible. But then it has a tan headliner, and or a gray headliner, and I'm like, I'm out. Like, I don't want that car, because now I have to take, which I mean to do with this car. Now I have to take all these individual components out, and I gotta black them out. I gotta find out somebody who does, black headliner. It's unnecessary. Like, you could spend the money. Charge the extra $200 base price if you have to. Or for this, it's the SR. The SR can't have a black headliner? Like, that's such a persuasive, especially when I was selling cars, that is such a persuasive tool. You want to sell more cars? Black headliner.
For a car this small, I'm surprised they actually fit. I also get one USB port and one spider.
He's such a liar. My head would be, he born a liar. Like, my head would be inside. This is actually pretty tall, and my seat's like sunken pretty down. But if I sat like normally, like, there's still a good amount, but there's just barely like that much between my head and thing. And in that Versa, 100%, I'm sitting in that back seat, I'm like this. Oh, whew, sorry about that. I mean, yeah, it's a Nissan Versa. What do you expect? You shouldn't be hauling kids in that. Definitely not passengers. If you're a college girl, I guess you could have other like little 4 foot tall little midgets with you, I guess. But
Under the hood, you get a 4-cylinder with 122 horsepower, but you can't really complain because it's the cheapest car in America.
yeah, I mean, if you're spending the extra like $3,200 to get like the SR versus the base Versa, of course, yeah, of course. You're not even hitting 200 horsepower, but it's such a lightweight vehicle. And as long as you don't load up all 5 seats, which you're not supposed to in a car like this, then, you'll be fine. But what it's also cheaper than spending $15,000 on a car, eventually, especially with interest rates how they are right now, $22,000 to $25,000 at the end of your loan, depending on where you go and how screwed you get, because none of you know how to shop for cars. If you want to know how to shop for cars, leave a comment in this video, and I will tell you how to shop for cars, the best way to shop for cars. Then yeah, this is what you get. You get 122 horsepower, and then you get 40 miles per gallon. He says that right after, actually, right here.
It does get 40 miles a gallon though, but the
Yeah, so you get 40 miles per gallon. That's great. This thing gets 20 miles per gallon, and it's the same buy. But at the end of the day, in this day and age, if you watch my previous video, not previous before this maybe, but maybe a little while ago, if you watch my video talking about the change in car culture, which I plan to do another video about the change in like why you should or shouldn't be purchasing a car, the landscape has changed. The landscape has changed to where this vehicle, for the price point that it's at, for the miles per gallon that it's at, the technology and the ability to produce this car was there 15 years ago, was there in 2005, 2008, 2010, 2012. The ability to produce a 40 miles per gallon vehicle, as well as a car that could comfortably seat you, comfortably accommodate you, and also was moderately safe. This probably isn't. Probably has like a half-star safety rating. But this car was able to be a reality a long time ago, and the fact that Nissan and so many other manufacturers are barely doing the bare minimum now, like when Bluetooth came out. Bluetooth didn't become standard on cars until like 6 or 7 years after everybody and their mom bought an aftermarket stereo with Bluetooth on it. Like, they had it since 2002, 2003, and then you didn't get it standard on a car until 2014. You didn't get it, like, even on a Toyota, you didn't get Bluetooth standard until like 2015. And that's Toyota. That's what everybody's like, oh, well, it's such a great value, such a great buy. But yeah, you didn't used to be able to get anything unless you bought more packages from Toyota. So I don't know. I feel like I feel like car manufacturers got to take a page out of like the customer service book. Is that you've already price gouged the crap out of the government, out of the human body, you know, out of the entirety of humanity. It's like now produce value. If you want to compete, you have to produce value. You know, there's a reason why nobody's going to buy this Versa. There's a reason why nobody's going to buy. He compared it to the Honda Civic. Why the Honda Civic is not the top selling vehicle in like California where I'm at? It's like the Model 3 or something, or the Model Y. It's not the highest selling vehicle anymore, like it used to be, or like the Toyota Corolla used to be. And that's because even though I love Honda, I'm a diehard Honda boy. Like I'm probably always gonna push Honda on this channel as much as possible. But the problem is that they're not. But the problem is they're not providing value like some other car companies are. You know, like Lucid, Rivian, Tesla, even Kia and Hyundai. It's like they're erring on the side of produce. Bro, send it all in one text. They're erring on the side of let's produce quality before we, you know, turn around and say, well, like this is the bare minimum you can get. Even for the bare minimum, you're getting a lot of value. You're getting a lot of things that you're not going to get from other cars unless you spend another 20, 30 racks on it. And granted, yes, all the companies that I named are either exceedingly expensive or, with the case of Hyundai and Kia, have crazy markups on their vehicles because of the increase in popularity. But I think that the way that you compete, Nissan, Honda, I'd say Volkswagen, but who cares what they're doing? Toyota, Ford, even, is that you gotta instill some more value. You know, get rid of all these conventions that you've been doing with your engineering, with your design culture. It's trash, you know, and I'm gonna say how trash it is going forward, continuing to do this. Nobody cares about this except me, and this is the only platform that I have to vent these, to air these grievances. So I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna honestly review these cars. Don't buy the Nissan Versa 2023. Buy a used car. And if you're thinking about buying a used car, don't buy a used car. Buy a bike, an electric bike for cash. It's going to do you so much better. And that being said, from a guy who sleeps in his car, I don't know what more other proof you need that it's not the time to buy a car. All right, guys, catch you in the next one.